What's happening, team? I have set us a wee 2 minute timer just before we get started. Okay, so I've just got another couple of wee notes I just need to write down before we get started. If you've got any questions before we start, just drop them into the comments box, guys. Okay. Yeah. Let me just get these last couple down. Just loading up the questions for the Q&A because I know there was a few this week. What are we? fl45 week 4. Cool. What's happening, team? Give me a wee comment in the comments box. Just a wee thumbs up, high five, a wee hello. Just let me know. Let me know where we're at, who we've got, who's talking. All right. Just moving a couple of screens about here before we actually get started. All right. So, Mark, Steve, what's happening? Are you good, boys? Hope you're class. Cool. So, we've got a few in just now. I'm just going to wait another couple of seconds actually. All right. So, I'm going to get rid of this timer at the way. Don't even know why I do a timer. I'm just trying to play about with all these wee different kind of gadgets to see, or widgets. Sorry, that's the right word. To see what I can bring up and what do you know what I mean? Just see what happens, what you can do with this stuff. What we got? Lynn, Amy, I've got somebody else that says Facebook user, but I'm actually just going to jump onto the Facebook group on my phone so I can see who it is. The issue with the app that I use, I don't actually use Facebook. I use a thing called Ecamm. You'll probably notice it says I'm using Ecamm or something like that when I come on. So Gracie, sorry, that's who we've got. What's happening? Hope you're good. So we've got 7 live just now. Cool. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, right, guys. So I like to open these up with a topic of discussion. So it's not just a case of it's a check-in and that's it. I like to add in a wee golden nugget. And the next golden nugget is Oliver Twist syndrome, right? Now you might have seen it on my Instagram today. I literally done a 40-second video on it today, right? But I feel that you can't really get the effect of what Oliver Twist syndrome is in 40 seconds, right? So I just want to explain it to you, and I'll tell you, like, see reading through every single person's check-in, right? So Chelsea, I'm going to use you as an example because you're the one I noticed saying it, right? So basically, you finished your check-in off saying, I only lost £6 or I only lost £7, you said, right? Only, right? Half a stone, right? When you actually think about it that way, right? So, Oliver Twist syndrome, obviously everybody knows the scene after Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I've been guilty for doing this myself, where I'm like, I wish I lost my weight, or I wish I'd done better, or blah blah blah, right? Now there's a problem with this, guys, right? Especially if it becomes something that's an ongoing thing, where you're dropping £2 or £3 a week, right? And you're still like, I want more every week, right? Because you're never going to be happy if that's the case, right? Now, I always say to everybody, and you know, guys, this is why I always say to you, like, even if you've lost £2, like, I'm telling you to celebrate it, right? If you're somebody who used to only get, let's just say, you used to only do 20,000 steps in a day, and you're managing to get 40,000 steps a day, right? that's a win, right? And a lot of people won't see that as a win. You'll be like, oh, I only got 40, but I wish I got 50, right? So you just need to identify when you're doing that, right? And a lot of people are doing it. I reckon probably half of the people in this group are doing it, right? And I know, right? We're trying to lose as much fat as we can in the least amount of time as we can, right? But there is a threshold of how much fat, how much weight that you're going to lose, and everybody's different. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's got a different starting point. Everybody's got a different level, and that obviously that kind of brings in like comparisons and things like that as well with what other people are doing, right? But we're not going to talk about it. We're talking about Oliver syndrome, Oliver Twist syndrome, right? So here's the thing, right? See if you lost a pound, you've progressed, right? See if you put 1 kilogram on your barbell in the gym, you progressed. See if you add 1 rep on in the gym, you progressed. See if last week you did 50,000 steps and this week you did 52,000 steps, you've progressed, right? Now I know you're setting yourself these high goals, right? But you need to make it manageable. You need to make it realistic, right? And if you're not making it manageable, you're not making it realistic, and you're setting yourself these goals that are so high, do you know what? You're only ever going to feel like a failure. You're actually doing really well, right? But you've made yourself feel like a failure because you're not hitting this high number that you think you were going to hit, and therefore you're just sitting thinking, oh, that's me, I'm a failure. I thought I was going to lose 2 stone on this, but I actually only lost 1.5 stone or a stone. And then you're just sitting there feeling as if you should have done better. Do you know what I mean? Looking at what everybody else has done, thinking you should have done as good as them. So when you're making progress, guys, you need to just kind of, this is a point where you need to look back, right? And you need to look over the last 4 weeks. And this is why I asked you to do this in your check-in this week. Because it's easy to lose track of the progress that you're making, right? If you're doing it on a weekly basis and you're only seeing maybe £2 here, £1 there, blah blah blah. But see when you have a wee look back at 4 weeks, right, guys, that's only a month, right? Ash used to tell me how much weight you've lost in the last month, right, or what your biggest win is over the last month, right? And it's important that we look back on that month and reflect what's went well and how well you have actually done. Do you know what I mean? Because it's, as I said, it's so easy just to look at what happened last week and forget about the last 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? You're on this wee journey with me where it's only been 4 weeks so far, and the progress that most people have made compared to where they were when they started, right? I know there's different people who may have lost more weight than other people, right? But what we've got to remember is remember your starting point, right? Remember your starting point where you were 4 weeks ago and where you're now, and every single person in this group has progressed in some form. Some may be better than others, but that's alright. It's all about just making sure that you're progressing. That's the most important thing, that you are progressing, alright? So what I'm saying here is guys, is stop setting your bar so high to the point where if you don't meet the expectation, that you feel unhappy. Now, don't get me wrong, right? See, when I set myself business goals, I set myself training goals, and I set myself physique goals, right? And sometimes I'll fall short just ever so slightly, right? But I never set myself these goals that are so high that I can't achieve them, right? So when I did Fat Loss 45, I set myself a target of 35 people, and 32 signed up in total, right? So to start off with, I was kind of a wee bit gutted. I was like, oh, I wish I got them other 3 people that I wanted to sign up. But I was like, do you know what? 33 people have came to me. That's progress, because this is the first fat loss challenge I've done this year myself. So I'm looking at it as a big positive. Do you know what I mean? But if I was thinking of that other mindset, the fucking Oliver Twist mindset, I would be thinking, oh, I should have got 35. I feel as if I failed. I feel as if I've not done good enough. This is crap. And then I could have just went into this challenge pure dwelling on the fact that I didn't get as many people as I actually wanted to get. Do you know what I mean? So when you're setting a goal, guys, and you've got a fat loss goal or you've got a weight loss goal, I say to everybody right at the start, £1 to £2 a week is absolutely fine, right? We're 4 weeks in. See if you've lost 4 weeks. See if you've lost £4 in weight, you're winning, guys. All right. If you've lost more than that, fantastic, right? If you've not lost £4, right, think back to everything else you've done. Think back to how much weight that you've put onto certain exercises, how your steps have progressed, how your techniques progressed, and all that sort of stuff. All right. So that was the first thing. I just wanted to open up. I wanted to open this check-in, talking about that, because I feel it's really important, and I feel that it's just something that it's something that a lot of coaches and a lot of PTs don't really talk about on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. They're always kind of chasing their clients to get more and more and more. But there is a certain point where you need to be like, right, this needs to be something that we can achieve on a weekly basis. And if it's not something that you can achieve, if it's maybe a wee bit unrealistic, then you don't want to be sitting there feeling pure shit about yourself, feeling crap, feeling as if you're a failure because you've not hit that target that you tried to hit. Alright, so that's tonight's golden nugget, guys. Stop setting your targets too high. Stop wanting more than you actually deserve, and more than you can actually achieve. All right, because it's only going to make you sit there feeling like shit if you do. Anyway, now that's out the way. Check-in time, guys. Okay, so I'm going to break it down a wee bit more. I'm going to be putting out a couple of losses and stuff like that tonight, as well, just to kind of give people a wee bit of a congrats and like just to blow your. I'm going to blow your trumpet a wee bit here tonight, guys, because most of you don't do it for yourselves, right? So first thing I've got here is I've got Gracie. You're number one. Your check-in came in first, right? So this is just basically as and when people's check-ins come in. I've just done it in kind of chronological order. Is that right? Aye. So Gracie, yours come in first, alright? So your biggest win is the fact that you've dropped 4.5 kilo over these 4 weeks, right? It's absolutely fantastic. I think also you said your biggest win was actually making under 60 kilos as well. So well done. Your focus tonight, for me, is to take your steps from the 50,000 section into 60,000, right? So I want you to get your steps from 50 into 60, right? Now, those extra 10,000 steps are going to be massive, right? I can't remember the exact number that your steps were, but it's somewhere in the 50s, right? So what I want to see next week, see from this week into next week, right? I want to see your steps sitting around 60 odd, right? I'm not saying they need to be way up at the top of the 60s, but at least 60k, and that's going to be progress for the week before, alright? Amy, big well done to you as well. 2 kilogram down, and the first time you've been in the weight that you've been in for 4 years, so that's absolutely fantastic. Your focus for the week is going to be steps as well, so I want you to get your steps into the 60,000 region as well, okay? Dani, your biggest win is the fact that since before you started, you've told me that your steps have more than doubled, so that's absolutely class, right? But now I'm going to push you a wee bit harder to get those steps a wee bit higher. So what I want to see from you is I want to see you in that 60,000 step zone somewhere, alright? So whether it's 60 to 69, somewhere in that range, somewhere, alright? William actually isn't in the group, but he watches his back because he gets to see all the wee golden nuggets that I hit him with, alright? So William, 88 kilo down to 84 kilo, so 4 kilo dropped. Steps sitting at 67 kilo, 67k, sorry, 67,000. So William, what I want to see for you is I want a calorie drop for you this week, alright? So everything else is going good, your calories are on point, your diet's on point, your steps and training's on point, so what I would like to see is a calorie drop this week, so I'm assuming you're probably sitting at about 2,000, so drop down to 1,800, alright mate? Danielle, big 2 kilogram drop, steps sitting at 110k for the week. My biggest win, so basically you're not one of these people that blows your trumpet that much, so you always hit your training, you always hit your steps, you always hit your diet, so it's honestly just so good to see how consistent that you are with all that stuff. I don't want to see any changes for you this week, and then maybe we'll make a change on the final week, alright? So again, really good week, so well done, pal. Mark, 3.5 kilo down, congrats, and steps sitting at 75,000 over the week. So what I want to say for you, I'm going to give you the option here, right? So obviously, what I would like to see is I would like to see your steps come up a wee bit, probably like to about 85,000. Alternatively, drop a calorie. So either get your steps at 75k next week again and drop your calories, or keep everything the same, but just make sure your steps are higher, up at 85k, alright? Chelsea, £6 down, class, well done. Your steps are sitting at 53k for the week, which is good, but I want to push you a wee bit harder and get those steps up to 60, okay? So in the low 60s somewhere, so 61, 62 would be absolutely ideal. That would be an extra 8 to 9,000 steps, pal, which would make a massive difference, alright? Next up we've got Zoe, 1.5 kilograms down, absolutely class, well done. Steps are sitting at 70k for the week. So what I want to see from you this week is everything else is on point, is I want you to go down a diet, alright? So drop your diet down by 200 calories, so if you're just normally tracking, just drop down 200. If you're using the diet plan, go down a diet plan, alright, pal? Christopher, you've obviously said yourself, the last kind of couple of weeks have been quite shite for yourself. The most important thing that you do is today reflect on the last week or two, right? Reflect on how it's making you feel, and then take action, right? The thing I always say to people is I'll get messages for clients sometimes, and they'll say, Harry, I fell off track, blah blah blah, like I feel shy, I don't feel good about myself, and then I'll just say, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? What the fuck are you going to do about it? Are you going to fucking go and get shit done and make yourself feel good about yourself? Are you going to sit back and dwell on it and just keep talking about it, right? So the most important thing that you can do here is take action, Chris, alright mate? So get back on plan, your plan's sitting right in front of you, you've got the tools there, just use them, alright mate? Lynn, 3 kilo down, and your steps are probably the thing that is lacking the most because you're still getting all your training in. So what I want you to do this week, right? So what I'd love to see is you're getting 3 sessions in a week, right? So I would like to see you drop a session and focus on getting more steps in. So I'd like to see your steps in the kind of, I'd be happy to see 60,000 steps off you over the week. And also 2 training sessions in, alright? So 60,000 steps, 2 training sessions. We're still on point just now. You're dropping very, very well. But you know me, I'm always about kind of just try to pull out as much progress as possible from every single person I can. And finally, Steve, 2.2 stone down, absolutely fantastic, mate. Honestly, unreal. And the biggest thing for you, mate, is obviously you're just coming back for being not well. So it's just to make sure that you're just kind of easing yourself back into the gym, not going fucking tonto, alright? And just getting back into training. And remembering that your strength's not going to be where it was 2 weeks ago, so you might actually find that your strength might be where it was 3 weeks ago, but that doesn't mean that you went back 3 weeks, because your strength will come back like that, alright, mate? So yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, drop a wee message into the comments box for me. I would love to hear from people. I want you to ask me questions, honestly, be as open as possible. Ask me anything at all about fitness, training, nutrition, mindset, anything, guys, okay? So we've got a few questions for the Q&A here, okay? So this one's going to be good for you, Steve. And Lynn actually asked this question. So, how to get back into it after being unwell and not training the past week? Can it still be picked up after losing a week? Basically, yes. So, I mean, COVID's been kicking about. See if personal trainers and fitness people don't know how to get people back into the gym if they're being not well, there's seriously something wrong with them, right? So my advice is get back into the gym. So see the first day you go back to the gym, pick your kind of lighter training session, right? So I would probably look at, if I was a guy, I would probably look at doing chest, push, sorry. I think the ladies have got a push session as well, or maybe it's just an upper session, right? So just go in, right? Don't fucking go mental. Don't go absolute hardcore with your training session, right? Go a wee bit lighter than you normally would. So if you were lifting, say you were doing one of your exercises, the set was 70 kilo, right? Drop it down to like 50. Or think in your head, you've got 12 reps to get through, right? Don't do 12 reps to failure. Do 12 reps where you've still got a wee bit left in the tank. That way you're not going to feel absolutely fucked. I had this conversation with my other guys on that do the other program, The Solution, right? And basically, Lynn, you'll know us anyway because you're like a nurse and you do like a kind of lot of anatomy and stuff like this, but your central nervous system is impacted by exercise, right? Your central nervous system is also impacted by being not well, right? So you're kind of getting a bit of a double done here, right? So the harder you train, the more impact you're going to have on your central nervous system, right? So this means it's also going to be harder for your central nervous system to fight off diseases, colds, flus, all that sort of stuff. So it makes sense just to take it easy, like 60%, 70% intensity, leaving 4 or 5 reps in the tank on each set. For the first couple of days when you get back, and if you feel good for it, if you feel all right, then up the ante, start to go for it when you're in the gym. Do you know what I mean? But just assess it on how you feel. There's not really a blueprint for me to turn around and go, right, here's exactly what you do to get back into it. But the most important thing is that you go to the gym and you just kind of try and do what you can, right? But not at a level where you're going to feel that you're taking the intensity so high that you end up fucking yourself up, basically. All right. So yeah, you just need to assess it by how you feel on the daily. I'm still in bed, not on my feet yet, looking like another week off work. Feels like I'm getting worse. Fuck's sake, Steve. Steve, have you been tested for COVID? It sounds as if it's probably COVID if it's lasting this long, mate. Could be anyway. Zoe, not a question, just want to say a massive thank you for all your help over the past 4 weeks. I'm excited to see what changes I can make in the next 2 weeks. Congrats, Zoe. You've done absolutely fantastic, pal. So just keep it up, man. 2 weeks left. I can't believe we've only got 14 days left. That's madness. How to deal with lack of motivation or low mood. My anxiety and stress is huge. Reason why I overeat, and I'm struggling to dig deep this week when my moods are a bit low. So the easy answer to this, right, is so when you're kind of, so I don't want to say exactly who this is, right, because I know it's kind of a personal question, right? So so this person doesn't actually do any training, right? Just steps and cardio. Just steps and diet, right? So the big thing I would say is how do you feel when you've kind of looked at all your meals all prepped and all that? You feel empowered. You're like, I've done that. I'm ready for a week, right? I'm ready for a week ahead, right? When you get all your steps done, you tick off your 10k a day. You're ticking off the boxes, right? You're ticking your list off. It feels empowering. It feels good. You feel good about yourself. There's not many things that can lift you up and kind of give you that kind of surge, the kind of the good feel that you get for when you've done something good for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Nothing else does that. You can't get that for helping other people, right? You only get it for when you've done something good for yourself, right? Now, what I would also say is as you're progressively losing weight, you're starting to feel better about yourself. Your anxiety is starting to reduce a wee bit, right? And don't get me wrong, if you've got anxiety, it's not something that it's just going to be a case of here's how you cure it, right? It's something that you just need to manage, right? It's always going to be something that you just need to manage until eventually one day maybe it won't be there anymore, right? But it's something that you just need to manage, right? I actually wrote a post the other day. I actually don't know whether I'm going to put it out as an email or I'm going to actually do an Instagram post on it or what I'm going to do with it, right? But I was actually talking about your inner critic, right? So your inner critic, if you don't know what it is, that's that wee voice in your head that tries to tell you you're not good enough, right? And I believe a lot of anxiety comes from, and this is a totally different take on it, by the way, right? And the thing about psychology is you can argue pretty much anything is right? So I believe that anxiety, it kind of comes from a place of not even insecurities, right? I believe it comes from a place of like subconscious thinking where your brain's trying to tell you to do something, right? So I used to think like when I you know I was overweight and all that, right, and all that sort of stuff. So I used to have these voices in my head that would say, you're overweight, you're never going to be good enough, blah 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 blah, right? Now, for me, I honestly believe that's my subconscious trying to challenge me to prove a point that whatever that's saying, I'm the opposite, right? So, for instance, you're not good enough. You challenge it. You prove that you're good enough. Do you know what I mean? You don't deserve to lose weight. You challenge it and you prove the inner critic in your head that you deserve to lose weight. You deserve to be where you are. When I was first kind of building my business online, it was kind of like the voices in my head were kind of like, not the voices in my head, but the inner critic in my head was like, you're never ever going to get to a stage with online coaching that you're happy with. You're never ever going to get like as many clients as you want, and blah blah blah. And that for me is a challenge. I see it as a challenge, and if you see it that way, you challenge the inner critic in your head, then you do the exact opposite of what that's telling you. So it tells you that you're not good enough, and you prove the inner critic in your head that you're good enough, right? That is honestly what I believe about the inner critic in your head, like talking to you that way. I believe it's a challenge. I believe subconsciously you already know what you want to do. You know what you want to change, and that wee voice in your head is try to kind of almost stop you from doing it. So that's your kind of cue to go, do you know what, fuck you, I'm going to fucking do the opposite. Do you know what I mean? The other thing I see like anxiety and anxiousness coming from is being unprepared, is the unknown. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if you've got a week ahead of you and you've not kind of planned out your week and things like that. So I would get like a wee journal or something like that, write up how your week's going to look and all that sort of stuff, and just kind of take it from there. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of different ways that you can kind of manage anxiousness and anxiety. But the one thing that you can do, and sometimes I know it's hard, but the one thing that you can do is just sit about and kind of sit on it, because you're just going to sit there with your own thoughts and you're just going to dwell, end up feeling worse. You just need to get up and do the complete opposite of how you feel. And it is, it's fucking tough when you kind of, the last thing you want to do is get up and do your steps, you know what I mean? But see the fact that that's what's in your head that you don't want to do, and you're kind of, there's that kind of hanging in your head trying to pull you away from doing it. That's even more a cue for you to go, fuck you, I'm going to fucking do it and get it done. Do you know what I mean? And then after you do it, you know exactly how you're going to feel. Do you know what I mean? Write down, get in your notes on your phone, write down exactly how you feel after you do your work. And you're going to write down, I felt fucking amazing after I'd done my work. I got up, got it done, feel good about myself. And then just remember the next time that you feel like that, that's how you fucking felt. So go and do it. Do you know what I mean? And I know, as I said, it's not as easy as just dragging yourself up and doing it, but you need to get this, you need to find the strength within yourself to do it. And the thing that's going to make you feel good about it is the results of how you feel after you do it. And you know how it's going to feel because you've done it over and over, alright? You just need to keep winning them wee mini battles in your head, alright? What we got? Once you've reached your target weight / goal and the programme is over, how do you maintain your weight? You sign up to another programme. No, I'm kidding on. Would you go back to normal calories while keeping at the gym? So this is a good one. Actually, this is a really good question. So basically, this is kind of like what happens next, Harry. There's a lot of kind of avenues you can go down. Obviously, once you have got to the weight that you're happy with, or you won't be happy with it, you'll never be happy with it, right? You'll be happy with how you look. You'll never be happy. See if in your head you've got a weight that you want to get to, right? And trust me when I say this, guys, you're not going to be happy when you get there, right? Because you're not going to look the way that you think you're going to look, right? So this is why you should focus on how you look, and how you feel, not how you feel from the results, but how you feel for training on the inside. You need to give yourself like intrinsic goals, like things like how you feel mentally, how much better you feel when you're just walking about, how you feel in your clothes, all that sort of stuff, alright? So, once you've kind of got to a place where you feel that you've lost enough weight, that your confidence is high, you're happy, and all that sort of stuff, and you're feeling good about yourself on the inside and the outside, that's a point where you would probably look at a new fitness goal, right? I believe fitness, and I'm not saying you need to go to the gym for the rest of your life, right? But exercise should be something. Exercise is free medicine, man, right? It's fucking free medicine. I honestly believe exercise is something that everybody should do for the rest of their life until they get to a stage that they're so old that they can't do it anymore, right? And I'm talking even with their own walking sticks and shit like that, they should still be doing exercise, right? Until you're in a wheelchair, you shouldn't like stop exercising, right? And I'm not saying you need to go out running 5Ks and doing burpees and fucking deadlifting, you double your body weight, right? Half an hour exercise a day, right? I believe that's something that you should always do. But at this point here where you're trying to optimise it, right? You're trying to optimise your body, you're trying to kind of get results, and you've got physique goals and all that sort of stuff. After you get to a point you're happy, when you've dropped enough weight, you've dropped enough body fat, then what you'd maybe want to say to yourself is what's next? Do I want to build muscle? Do I want to get stronger? What's the next goal? Set yourself a new goal. And then you kind of need to then you work out what's next. And guys, see, for anybody who, obviously some people have signed up for the next challenge, which starts next Monday. But for anybody who needs help setting new goals, who wants to progress, like I said to you before, guys, I've got another program. It's called The Solution, and you can sign up for 12 weeks. You can sign up for 24 weeks. After these 28 days, guys, this is not the end, right? This is for some people a kickstart to move into my next program, right? But for some people, this is a kickstart to just for fitness in general, and they'll probably just start going to the gym themselves and things like that, right? Which is absolutely cool, right? But if you feel that you still need support, right? And I know a lot of you have already messaged me already and asked me what happens next and can I move into your other program? Is I will ask you on your last check-in if you want to we'll jump on a call. In most calls we jump on a call for half an hour. We'll look at where you're at. We'll look at where you want to go over the next kind of 12 weeks to 24 weeks. So that would take us away through until June next year, right? Potentially March, June time. And then we'd look at where you kind of want to take things. And at that point, obviously, I'll decide whether I want to take you in the program or not. And then obviously we'll just kind of go over all the fine details and all that sort of stuff. But we do go in depth on the phone call on like kind of where you're at, where you want to be, and all that sort of stuff. So if you feel already that's something that you want to do, just kind of register your interest a wee bit with me. Just drop me a message on like Trainerize or WhatsApp or whatever. All right. But the next thing that you need to do is decide like what happens next, right? Because fitness doesn't end, guys, right? Every time you get to one destination, it's time to go to a new destination, all right? And I always say the more stops in the journey, the longer the journey, all right? If you try and give yourself a destination that's too far, too big, too high, then you never quite make it, all right? So there should be small stops along the way, milestones, and strength goals, weight loss goals, physique goals, mindset goals, everything, all right? Yeah. Any other questions, guys? I have one more question. How's the puppy? He's amazing. He's absolutely fantastic. Who asked me this, right? Because whoever asked me this is my favourite person. Amy Coyle. Amy Coyle asked me this. The puppy is fantastic. He's so good. He's sleeping so well at night. Somebody says to me, I hope you're ready for sleepless nights. Well, he's not. He's sleeping alright. He's sleeping so well. He's eating, he's drinking, he's just running about going mental all the time, but he's so cool. And he's almost fully toilet trained, and we didn't even use any those kind of pads that people use in a house because we just took him straight out, got him doing it outside. And he gets his Jags next Saturday so we can take him a walk. So he's fantastic. He's just a cool wee guy, to be honest. So yeah, guys, a really good week of check-ins again, guys. We've only got 14 days left, right? 14 days left on this program. So over the next 14 days, it's all about just kind of finishing off the program, right? I'm not saying to you just need to go fucking hard as fuck for the next 2 weeks, right? See if you're making progress right now, guys. You don't need to go any harder, all right? I'm all about pulling out as much progress from the least amount of change as possible, because at the end of the day, guys, this needs to be something that's sustainable for a longer period of time. And don't get me wrong, I know some of the girls have dropped into 1400 calories, right? And we'll probably drop you down to 1200 at one point, but it will only be for like 1 or 2 weeks, absolute max. And like I said, it needs to be something that's sustainable, and it's sustainable to do low calories for a week and then bump them back up again. Do you know what I mean? But hi guys, I'm really honestly, I'm so happy with how everybody's getting on. Everybody's getting on so well, and yeah, let's just absolutely smash next week and make some more progress. All right, guys. Any other questions? Just fire a wee message into Trainerize, or fire me a message over on WhatsApp if you've got my number, or Facebook Messenger. Anything at all, right, guys. Bye. Have a good night, and I will announce the accountability tracker winner tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow is the last day of the accountability trackers, and I don't know if we've got a new challenge set up, but we'll see. Danielle, the class is on Monday. So for the next 2 weeks, guys, the classes are on Mondays only, alright? So I'm trying to kind of get everybody into the one class on Monday nights, guys, alright? But have a good night, and I will speak to you hopefully during the week at some point. If not, I'll speak to you on Sunday next week. Alright, team? Have a good one. Good night.